Hello, everyone. My name is Elijah Elliott, and I decided to do a presentation on CRC cards. What is CRC cards? Well, CRC cards is short for Class Responsibility and Collaborators. And within this card, it is useful because it provides informal, low-tech, low-cost, agile methods for object-oriented analysis and design. It also involves related choices of names. And also, classes or objects are represented on an index card. What does a CRC card look like? Right here, I have two examples. The example on the left is a very simple example, and on the right, it's more defined. On the left side, typically, on the left side, as you can see, the class name is on the top left-hand corner, and typically these class names are always underlined. On the bottom left-hand corner is where you put the responsibilities. Typically, what you find in the responsibilities side is verb phrases, behaviors, or operations that the class name or the class needs to be doing. And then on the right-hand side is for collaborators. This is where you would put other classes that will help the responsibility side. So let's say if the class name is supposed to convert euros to dollars, then on the collaborator side would probably be get dollars. So because that is how it helps the responsibility class. And as in the picture on the right, we can see that the class, it says a collection of similar objects. So we can have customers, responsibility, what class knows it does, orders products, and then collaborator side is additional classes that interacted with the full responsibility. So product order, because a customer orders a product and the order's product needs to come from the product order. On this, what is needed to make a CRC class? Class. Typically, when you are naming a class, all of the classes have similar naming, but there's sometimes when you're not going to be able to use one word. So we use compound nouns, which would be right here an example is shopping cart. But typically, when we use a compound noun, the first letter, which would be S in shopping cart, would be lowercase. And this is also called camel casing. And also another thing I want to point out for compound words, notice how shopping cart does not have any spaces between shopping and cart. Because since it's compound word, it is considered one word. Responsibilities, analysis is to define clear and cohesive responsibilities. So we can't be very vague on when creating responsibilities because it can kind of be confusing on how it's being defined or what is needed. Like here in this picture, it says add item, remove item. Very simple and straight to the point. Collaborative side is a set of methods that will help to achieve a responsibility. So to create it, if the collaborating side, instead of having it be product catalog, it is view catalog or view magazine. View magazine would be irrelevant for the shopping cart because you can't buy anything from a magazine. So here we got product catalog, and a perfect thing of responsibilities is add items from the product catalog or delete, remove items with the shopping cart. And as you can notice, the product catalog is only right to add items, not remove items. This is because product catalog helps to add items. how and why are CRC cards created? How is by forming an analysis team with 5 or 6 members. What is included within this team is at least 1 or 2 user domain experts, 1 or 2 system analysis, 1 object-oriented software designer, 1 team facilitator, and leader. Within this group, you want at least one of them to be experienced. The more, however, if you have more, the merrier. Why are we creating CRC cards? Is because it helps keep the team organized on what is at hand. Because when you do this, the thing is we're able to write it down, which is very fast, and we'll be able to stay organized. And that is a very beneficial way for using CRC cards. And the next part of creating the CRC cards is brainstorming. Brainstorming is a process where each group member is supposed to create an idea. And when sharing and creating ideas, everyone has to think of their idea and other people's ideas are equals. Not that one is better than the other, they're just equals. And typically, in a group, if one person says, oh, that's a horrible idea, people are not going to be, the brainstorming process will not be effective. This is why you shouldn't have any negative comments within the brainstorming idea. It is also, you think fast while brainstorming, and it helps in create creativity within each other, because in this picture it shows, hey, person 1 on the far left has an idea, but person 2 was like, oh, let's make that idea better, and then person 3 was like, hey, this is a great idea, here's what I think, and look, you got a fantastic idea. You're bouncing the ideas off and making them better. And also, brainstorming is also pretty good because you also think about problems that can occur and then figure out solutions to the problems that may occur or problems that you already have. And by discussing it, you're able to think more clearly and get an idea from someone else. And so this next slide, fitness app. This is going to be one of the examples of how we're going to create a CRC card for this. Well, what is this app going to do? What it needs to be done? Well, it needs to be able to track the runner's user's time. It needs to compare the runner's time to previous running times and find the average time that the runner runs. And then it needs to take the analytics of the running times from, let's say, today's Monday, and I'm about to go run. That I need to compare all of the Monday's saved data and figure out what I should be running and what is the recommended time I should be running for that day so I can keep up with progress. So let's create a CRC class. Here, as you can see, I already have some examples. For a CRC class, what is some of the class name? Class time, save time, compute average time, compute analytic time, display average time, and display analytic time. So for here, as you can see, for each first letter is lowercase, and these are compound nouns. And for this, I'm just going to give you a brief example of what each class is supposed to do. Track time is where the user is going to be able to track their time from start to end. And then right after, save time is going to take that track time and it's going to be able to save it for that day or that running time. And then the compute average time is going to be able to take all of the saved data and find the average. The compute analytic time will be able to find the data for that current day and previous and figure out the recommended time you should be running for that day. Display time would be displaying the time for when you're tracking the time, and display average time would be displaying the average running time, and display analytic time is displaying the recommended time. Here, responsibilities and collaborators for a class or for on this slide is display analytic time. The responsibilities would be show analytics for current day with day from comparing previous days, weekdays. Example, like I said in the previous, if the user is running on a Tuesday, then the app will display the time expected for the user to run. The collaborator part would be using the compute analytic time to achieve the responsibility. And as I talked about in compute analytic time on the previous slide, is that it's going to find the data, like today's Monday, all the previous Mondays, and find the data and give you the recommended time. And these are my sources. Thank you for listening.